Hey, hi. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whenever you see this. Welcome back to my living room. Excuse me. I want to share with you today about affirmations. There's a lot about discussion about, do they work? Are they real? Do we use them? How do we use them? And so I just wanted to with share that with you. How do they work? And what do we have to do to make them work? And how do they help or how do they not help? So I want to talk about that today. And I just want to share that last night I went live. I didn't tell anybody what was happening or anything, but I did go live because I really felt led to, because I wanted to talk about a gratefulness in an area of life that I think gets neglected. So I talked about that, and it happens to deal with what we call the entertainment business, or who we get entertained by through music, through art, through movies or theater or whatever. So I talked about that last night, so you can check it out. I kind of rambled, actually. I had so much I wanted to share. I didn't write anything out, so I'm like, oh gosh, I hope this all makes sense. But you can watch it and let me know what you think. And there were a lot of glitches in that one as far as internet, so I don't know what's going on. So I apologize. But today, let's get to affirmations. So, what is your understanding of an affirmation? Is it just like positive thoughts, positive statements? Usually that's what they come across as. So we can have statements such as, I am worthy of ... whatever it is you think you're worthy of. I am worthy of love. I am a beautiful soul. I do my best every day. I am enough. I will overcome. And you can make it even precise, like I will overcome this current challenge in my life. I trust that all things will work out for good. I mean, we can have so many different types of affirmations. You can make up your own. There are some online where you can follow along a guided, like meditative affirmation with some beautiful music behind it. I follow one every morning that I absolutely love. It's about 22 minutes long. So yeah, affirmations are positive statements that can be hopeful ones. So statements of where we want to be. It can be statements of overcoming things that we are struggling with in life. So there are different aspects of affirmations. And like I said, you can write your own, you can follow along, you can switch them up every day. So what's the best way to use affirmations? It's a good question, because it depends on our mindset, doesn't it? So how many of us have like maybe listened to some affirmations or read some out and we're going, today's going to be a great day. And you're thinking, yeah, right. It already started bad. We have these little voices in our head. I am a beautiful human being. No, I'm not. I will overcome this current challenge. How? How am I going to do that? We immediately, because that brain right here, remember, wants to pull us back, keep us safe, and it's challenging us, saying, you can't do that. That's out of your comfort zone to think that way or to feel that way. So it's partly that primitive part of the brain that wants to pull us back, and another part of just our habit of negative thinking about ourselves. So sometimes, and some days, when we're just feeling out of sorts and we're kind of down, and maybe we're overtired, we didn't sleep well, so it's harder to connect with the affirmations. That's okay. It's okay. It is. And sometimes forcing it, or sitting there going, I will feel this, I'm going to do it. We're trying to will our way through these affirmations. You know what? Let it go. Just let it go for the time being. Go for a walk. Do something to distract yourself. Take a nap if you can. Otherwise, wait till the next day. Get a good night's sleep and wake up refreshed and then go for it. Because affirmations work when we're connected to what we're saying. So they're not just statements like floating in the air or in the background. When we can connect with what we're hearing or what we're reading or what we're saying, and we can connect with it in an emotional level, that's the most effective way. Many of us learn emotionally. Many are because we're emotional beings, right? So it's looking for the affirmation of the affirmation. So maybe 2 days, 3 days, a week later, a month later, you were saying, I will overcome this challenge successfully, whatever that challenge might be for you. It could be financial, it could be something in the family, it could be a weight issue, could be whatever. But then in a month, you realize, my gosh, that I'm not even challenged by that anymore. That's amazing. And you realize that that affirmation has helped lead you to choosing and making the right decisions in order to get through that challenge or problem, whatever it might be. Our brains are kind of like Google. You can even ask a question. Now, there's a gentleman who has written about for years called affirmations with an O. What is his name? Please forgive me. I see his face. Anyway, you can even Google it, affirmations. His name will come up because I don't want to sit here and try and think up his name. But he says, if you ask yourself questions like, wow, that's amazing. How did I overcome that challenge? That's amazing. How did I make that extra money to pay off that bill? Isn't it amazing that, so as you're projecting, you're seeing and you're asking yourself, how did I do that? How did that happen? How did I get to be the next manager? How did I get that new car? How did I get that extra money? Because our brains can act like Google. And so it's going to search it out. And so it's going to search out answers if you ask some questions in the form of an affirmation. Now, I've done that for a while. I've tried that. And it kind of worked in some ways, not across the board, but it did. And maybe because I wasn't as consistent because I'm so used to affirmations instead of asking questions. But try it out. Look him up. Google it, because he talks about it a lot. He's been around for like 15 years, and he researched this idea, and he's covered it, and he talked about it. He's written books on it. I think he's done some conferences on it. So asking the brain, asking yourself in the realm of it's already been done. Gosh, how did I get there? How did I do this? How did I make that work? How did I, whatever it is you want to see yourself as or having overcome, ask it in the form of a question. The brain is going to help you seek out those answers to actually get there, like a Google. So there is that. But I do feel too that we need to be in the frame of mind to receive the manner of which these affirmations are set up, whatever they are for you, in a positive statement, a positive mind to create the feelings. Because I know Dr. Joe Dispenza talks about this, as well as so many others, and Bob Proctor and others, is that we need to be in the state of feeling that it's already done. If we can envision and imagine having you have it, you have what you're looking for, you have that new job, you have that extra money, you have this, that, or the other thing, you feel it as if it's already done, like it's already happened. And imagine in your mind what it's like to live in that new house, or that with that new job, or with your new partner, or whatever it might be, to feel it. And so this is where our mindset needs to be in a good place. That's why when we're grumpy, we're tired, we can force ourselves to say them, and maybe there could be a switch in your mindset if you're used to going right to the feeling. But in the beginning, it's going to be difficult. So if you're in a bad mood, you're grumpy, you're tired, and you're, trying these affirmations, it's best to change your state of mind. It's best to change even your physical state. That's why I say it. Others will tell you, go for a walk, put on music, dance, uplift your mood the best you can. Other experts say take a nap, just take a nap or go to bed. Just wait till the end of the day, you go to sleep and let your mind rest and wake up refreshed and start over. So here's something I know I shared in the book. Pardon me, I shared the book with you, Raymond Hollowell, Working with the Law. Excuse me. And this is important. I'm going to read for a second. The mind force is creating continually like fertile soil. Nature does not differentiate between the seed and the weed and that of a flower. She produces and causes both seeds to grow. The same energy is used for both, and so it is with the mind. The mind creates either good or bad. Your ideas determine which is to be created. And then he tells the story of a farmer and sowing seeds and sowing the seeds to wanting to grow his crops, but weeds get in there, right? Seed weeds blow around and they get in among the crop. So let me continue on this page. It says, whatever we think in our minds must grow. Why do you suppose the farmer goes out to weed his garden and works tediously to eliminate every weed? Because he knows that if he does not clean out the weeds, they will grow stronger and tougher and choke out the crop. So I think there's a lesson in that for us too. You heard me say before that we have more control over our minds than we think we do. Now, that doesn't mean, we have like 40, 50,000 thoughts that bubble up in our system every day in our brains. Depending on what we're feeling, depending on our habits, depending on what's going on in the day, we'll grab one of those and start ruminating on it. More than likely, it's an old one. It's an old, and it'll just establish that feeling over and over. So something happens during the day or something at work or something goes on and you start feeling, man, I'm just not that smart, or I can't believe I did that, and I'm so stupid, and why did I do that? You start getting down on yourself. I apologize. I made the mistake of having coffee right before it came on. And so if we grab one of those thoughts and we start ruminating, seeing it's going to affirm what we're feeling, it's this loop that happens. Now we have to be able to be aware enough and mindful enough to go, wait a minute, why am I feeling this way? What happened that I'm feeling this way? What just happened? Or why is this going on? Instead of automatically and habitually just going with the feeling all day long. It ruins our day. And it kind of ruins interactions with other people, and will change our perception of ourselves and the world and everything else. So we just are bummed out. How many people do you know live like that? I know some. They live in the drama of the worst case scenario and the negativity and everything else. And it's really, they're not fun to be around. I'll just put it that way. And I avoid those people. So we have to have control sometimes to control. Be connected with what we're feeling. And there are days where it's like, I know I'm feeling low. I'm low energy. I didn't sleep well. I'm kind of tired. And acknowledge it. Just acknowledge it. I was rushing this morning. I had to get the kids to school, and then I had to get to work, and I was running late, and kind of get, who likes to rush? It kind of puts us in a crummy mood, right? So uh, if we can grasp that, get a hold of that, take some deep breaths, take a few minutes or even a minute to just kind of deep breathe. If you have a moment, sit in your car before you go into the store or work or wherever you're going. Just take some deep breaths and go, okay, I really feel lousy today. I'm just tired. I'm in a bad mood, and I recognize that. So, what got me here? Well, what got me here was I didn't sleep well. I didn't. I didn't take time to listen to what I wanted to. I didn't. Whatever. Maybe you have a morning routine and you kind of skip through it and you didn't do it, and that's part of a system for you that gets you going for the day. I know I have one. So sorry. Uh, Now my nose is running. I'm so sorry. I feel like maybe I have a cold. Anyway, I don't. I'm going to get rid of that cold. So it's our mindset, and we have to be careful of giving into it. We can't always believe what we're feeling. Feelings are important because they do tell us something's going on. We need to pay attention to the feelings and then the activity of the emotions of it. And just get control of it as much as you can. And sometimes we're really successful. Sometimes we can go, okay, before I go in, I'm going to just change my mindset. I'm going to just take a minute, deep breathe. I know I'm going to have a better day. Work is going to go well. My family is going to go well. This is going to go well. Whatever it is you're attempting to do that day, tell yourself and feel it. Feel as if it's already done and you're already ready for bed and the day went great, even better than you thought. If we feel it, it really helps engage us to move in that direction. Now, again, some days we're just lost, right? Some days are just forget it. I've had days like that. It's like, you know what? I just laugh and go, okay, I'm just going to finish the day the best I can and get a good sleep tonight. And knowing I'm going to wake up refreshed and I have a whole new day to start over. Sometimes it's like that. It's okay. We have to say it's okay. We can't beat ourselves up for it. Throughout the day of a grumpy day, try and be aware. Try and have moments of mindfulness and just catch your breath and do what you can to love yourself, to take care of yourself, to hydrate, to eat well, to show kindness where you can, and grab a couple affirmations for that day, even simple ones. I'm going to conquer this grumpiness today. I'm going to conquer this grumpiness today. I'm going to start feeling good today. And a few times throughout the day, just do that. And you're going to feel a shift in you. Maybe the day won't be absolutely perfect, but you'll feel a shift. And that's good because then we're avoiding the weeds. We're avoiding feeding and fertilizing the weeds in our heart and in our minds, the old stuff, the old patterns, the old recordings in our heads, when we start feeding the positive parts. So this is why affirmations can be really helpful when we use them correctly. And that's why I wanted to bring this up, because there's, always people saying, oh, just think positively and just have their affirmations or whatever. It's good, but they've got to be used accordingly when you're connected to them and they're personal and you know what you want. You can make them general or you can make them very personal because you want to overcome something in your life. You want to be more patient. You want to eat more healthily. You want to get a little more exercise in your week. So it's affirming within yourself those things and feeling as if they're already done. It sounds tricky. So somebody said, well, how can you feel like, you're wealthy? Or how can you feel like you're financially sustainable and beyond when you haven't been? And that's the part that's kind of cool, is you can make it up. You can do it. You can just think of it. Well, what would it feel like? You'd feel relief. You'd feel like, what would it feel like if your debt was paid off and your bills, or you didn't have to think about paying your bills? They were automatic because they were going to be paid. You have savings. You can afford that vacation you wish you could be doing for the past 10 years. What does that feel like? That would feel awesome. It feels free. And with that, there's also possibilities of helping others. What would it feel like to help someone else in need, or teach them or guide them to use money well, to help your family understand, or your children, that even though they might be financially sustained, but teaching them how to use money as a tool and not a free-for-all, to set up investments, to set up for their future, and not go out and buy cars and boats and diamond rings and furs, all that kind of stuff. You'll find that wealthy people, the wealthiest ones, live very simply. The people who are flashy do it for show. So many people get themselves into trouble because they want to appear very successful beyond their means. And that's how people get into trouble. Women, we don't need expensive handbags or shoes, or, yes, buy quality, make sure it's what you like, it looks good on you, the material's great, and it's a decent investment for you. But we don't have to go. And so many men who are successful, men and women actually, they'll drive their cars. They don't go out and buy new cars every year, or the fanciest car, the most expensive car. The people who do that are just trying to look that way, and then they find if something goes wrong in their business, they're going to lose everything because there's nothing that they have put away. They just think it's always going to come in, it'll always be there, so I'm just going to spend it. No, the smart ones really know how to take care of the money that they have. It's starting small until they feel like they are where they want to be. And I'm even saying even prudently sustainable financially. You don't have to be multimillionaires and billionaires, but just sustain financially in a healthy way for your family or for yourself, whatever that looks like for you. Think about, what would that feel like? What would that feel like? What would it feel like? Let's pull something out of the air. Let's say you want to be an actress, let's say, okay, or actor. You want to act. You want to be successful. It's your passion. You love it. Well, what do you do to get there? We don't just sit on the couch and think, I'm going to win an Academy Award. I mean, yes, you can think it and you can feel it, but you're also in community plays. You're also maybe in a choir. You're out there. You're building up your craft, your skills, and you're working on it, and you're doing it, and you're saying yes to possibilities, and you're taking the ball and running with it. You're going with it, and yes, there'll be some downfalls. There's a lot of rejection in that community. God, I know there is, but if you stick with it, and what would it feel like while you're working that? How many actors or singers or people that we know who are very famous now have lived in their car, literally? How many comedians have lived in their car outside a comedy club? Many of them. Or shared a 1-bedroom apartment with 6 other people just to survive, because they're so dedicated to their craft and their passion and what they know that they're good at, and they just want to keep the skills going. That could be with anything. I just pulled that out of the air because it's something I happen to have a passion for. But do it. When we take action along with the affirmations, the success rate is really, really good. And it may take us, all over the place, but you're on an upward climb, and that's what's important. So affirmations need to be they need to be connected with. We need to connect with it. We need to hear it, read it, see it, whatever it is, and connect with what's being said. Now, again, you can just do 2 a day. You can write it out in a journal over and over. You might have a couple you just really, you want to write it. And every time you're writing it, you're getting more excited and you can feel it. You can feel the outcome of it. That's part of also the universal law of vibration and feeling. That's where that all comes in as well. The thing about that, and what a lot of people might hear, is you have to stay positive, you have to stay positive, you have to, we're human. That's not going to happen all the time. That's just not realistic. I don't know and I know a lot of happy people, but they have difficult days. They have problems that come up in their lives. They have situations. Now they approach them with positivity. They approach them with, instead of saying it's a problem, that it's a challenge, and they're going to deal with it, and they're going to do their best. And it might involve other people. It might involve their business or family or whatever. And they know it's a challenge, and they know it's going to be difficult, and they have to talk to people, or maybe they have to fire somebody, who knows. But whatever it is, their approach is coming from a place of positivity, but they're bummed by it, and they don't want to have to do that. That's not like, they woke up that morning, like, yeah, I'm going to have to fire so-and-so today, with a smile. But you develop a resilience to the negative feelings as much as possible. Tell yourself when you begin to feel lost, alone, uncertain, God, I know those feelings really, really well. And you just feel like you're the only one in the world, and there's no one around, and you're trying to figure stuff out, and you can't, for the life of you, figure a certain issue out or problem. If we get lost in those feelings, we're feeding the weeds, just feeding and fertilizing the weeds instead of the flowers. Now, again, it might take a day or two to get out of that mindset and that feeling. It can. And I'm being very realistic, or maybe longer. Maybe you actually need to see a counselor or a therapist for some help in that area, because you're not getting over that depth of sadness or depression or whatever you might be feeling. Go for the help. Do that. But just know it's okay. You're human. So we're not always going to be 100% positive every single day on every subject, on everything. But the more that we can, the better it is. So I would say for yourself, write out some affirmations. Think about what you want to tell yourself. What areas in your life do you want to know, to improve, or to dream? You have a goal, and you can, whatever that might be, feel what it would be like to be on that other side. Again, whatever that goal or dream is, what would that feel like? What would that feel like? And I know that we get caught up with, well, how's that going to happen? How I have this big dream, this goal, but I don't even know how. We have to let the big how aside and just do what we know to do during the day. Just whatever we can do that any given day. It might be reading up on it. It might be getting more information on the subject. It might be finding out, do I need to take some classes or courses? How can I do it? Oh, they're online. Great. I'm going to sign up. So it's doing whatever you can daily to find out more, which in all probability, you'll connect with other people. There'll be other ideas. there'll be motivation, and the how kind of unfolds itself. The how will begin to unfold itself before you. And I know that sounds weird. I've seen it in my life, and I've shared it before about what goes on in the unseen world that we can't see on our behalf. And before you know it, you're like, what just happened? It feels like a miracle. It's like, oh my gosh. So there's faith involved. There's the discipline of being mindful and being aware of our feelings throughout the day, how we start our days, and what does it look like, and just accept some days just are lost. Just wait till the next day when you have a good sleep, but just do your best for that day, the best that you can. Now, when I'm talking about all this, I am not including very upsetting things like a death of a loved one or a major car accident or something else that's huge, because that will affect us totally. Our feelings, our thoughts, the emergency, the shock of it, all that will be there. So that's just being human in our lives. Sometimes things happen like that. And if we can train ourselves along the line, hopefully it'll never happen in our lives, but some of these things do happen. And we can be at a point where we've kind of, the best we can, to the best of our ability, have trained ourselves to understand, first of all, the shock, the pain, the grief, or whatever is happening, and then go in within ourselves to that soulful place of us, or that reserve that we might have, to take a deep breath and then proceed to the best of our ability in moments like that. So again, it won't always be perfect, and we're highly emotional beings, but it's just doing the best we can in those moments. And sometimes it's asking for help. Sometimes it's just asking somebody for help. That's the best we can do in those moments. And that's okay too. It's okay. So that is what I wanted to share about affirmations. And if there are any questions, just let me know. Again, I just encourage you to write some out, think about some things that you would like to tell your own mind I know Dr. Joe Dispenza talks about, it's like training a wild monkey, our mind, right? How many of us sit down to concentrate on a project or just meditate or pray, and our minds are going, I should be doing this, I got to do that. How did I do? It's like all of a sudden everything in the world is like just in our minds. It is like training a wild monkey, but we can do it. That's the thing. We can do it. We have, start out 2 minutes a day, 5 minutes a day, set an alarm. Maybe you're like, I can't sit for an hour. Not sit for 4, I just will lose it. Well, then start with 5 minutes or 3 minutes, because slowly we can train ourselves. 4 or 5 times a morning, I sit in quiet. I call it, and I've learned to call it, sitting in the power. Anywhere between 45 minutes and 60 minutes, and sometimes a little longer. Because I've trained myself to work past that monkey mind, where it used to just drive me crazy. And sometimes, if it's driving you super crazy, and you're thinking, oh my gosh, I didn't put the laundry in the dryer, I forgot this, then get up and do it, because that'll ease your mind. Just get up and do it, and then come back and try and sit. If you can, great. If you can't, tomorrow's a better day, another day. You can do it then. So it's not to be something that you're, gotta do this, like you're going to be horsewhipped if you don't, and all that pressure, because that makes it worse. But when you set up a time a certain time every day. You can start with 2 minutes, start with 5 minutes, then go to 10 minutes. You'll be surprised how you can train your own mind to relax. And sometimes you need guided meditations. That has helped me in the beginning, where listening to some soft music or somebody in the background kind of guiding me, down the garden path or wherever they're leading me. And then it kind of goes back into the soft music and I'm already gone. And it's awesome. I have found there are times when I start sitting, let's say it's 9 o'clock in the morning, my mind chatters, blah, blah, and I just let it go. And I trust that it will dissipate. And I'm telling you, eventually it does. And then I'm opening my eyes. It's like 50 minutes went by. I'm like, wait a minute, that felt like 2 minutes. I love it when it's like that, because you're in an altered state and your mind is just drifting, and I'm connecting with, for me, the spirit world. And so it's like, I get lost in it. And it feels like 2 minutes went by, not 50 minutes or 60 minutes. It's amazing. But I've had to work my way up to that. I really did. I started with 10 minutes. I did 15 minutes. I did 20 minutes, went back to 10 minutes. And then, just kept edging my way. And then I sit with a couple other people via Zoom in the morning. So there's that showing up and being accountable to myself and for others. And there's 3 other people, and we sit together because for us it works well that way, to show up for one another and to show up for myself. Number one, they're not accountable to me. I mean, if I don't show up, they're not going to, text me and go, where are you? They're just, if I can't show up, I let them know I'm responsible. I say, you know what, I can't be there tomorrow morning, so don't look for me. But when we do that, that has helped me exceedingly to get to the point where I am. And I loved that. I love it. And it's been like, I think we've been doing this for like 9 months now, about maybe 10 months. And it's been fantastic. So that's an idea too. If you have a hard time, maybe connect with someone else. And even if you don't sit together, you can just say, hey, I'm just letting you know this is my plan, and you're not responsible for me, but I just want to verbally say, this is what I'm going to do. So you feel kind of accountable for doing it, right? It's helpful that way. If that helps you, great. If it doesn't, then don't use that, don't use that concept. But it helped me. That's why I'm sharing it. And within sitting too, you can start that. Remember what I said? I have a meditation of affirmations and beautiful music, and can just sit with it and connect with every affirmation. Sometimes for me, it's overwhelming because there are so many affirmations. And so I might want to just connect with 2 or 3 or 4 that are hitting me in that moment. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to just concentrate on those. Do that. Do whatever works for you. Everybody's different. But I know that you can feel better. Again, it's about self-love. When we do our best, know our best, show up for ourselves, have that self-love, we are that much better for our family, friends, and the world around us. And what an example and a light that we can be for others as well. And you build patience and kindness and compassion and empathy. And those are beautiful, soulful, spiritual characteristics that we all need to build, don't we? I think it's very important in our lives. That's what I think anyway. So, all right, I'm going to end it there for today. Again, if you have any questions, just ask me, reach out. I leave my email in the description box, which I'll do after this recording. And just remember, again, how amazing you are. You really, truly are. You're an amazing human being, and you have an amazing mind. And we can work with it and hone it and train it and to show up for ourselves and others, to be our best, the best we can on any given day. One day you'll be better than the other. That's fine. But you're an amazing human being, and you're a miracle on this planet. I remind you, there's only one of you. And all your gifts and talents and abilities are unique to you, and how you show up for yourself, for those you love, for the world around you, even for the spirit world, your faith, whatever your faith might be. There's one of you, and it's beautiful. You are a unique, beautiful light, and you matter so much. You matter. It's all connected. You have these abilities and these talents. You're beautiful and fantastic human being if you allow yourself to be. And you matter because of that. You're affecting people's lives. You're helping yourself. You're helping others. You're just rippling through the universe. So I just want to remind you of that. So I hope you have a really great day. And I'll see you Friday. Not sure what I'm going to talk about Friday. So yeah, I'll just leave it there. It'll be a surprise. So I'll see you then. Thank you for joining me today. And I hope you have a wonderful day. Bye for now.